Hi you guys, welcome to another video. So today we're going to do things a little differently because you and I are going to do a gratitude list reflecting on 2025, and we're going to write our goals for 2026 using methods that focus on gratitude and also narrowing down onto what is actually the most important to you. The goal of this video is to help you focus down so that at the end of next year you know that you'll have properly achieved at least 1 to 3 things on that list. And I have to give a shout out to Anna Lougari, who taught me this method in her class, her group, coaching group. So that was yeah, one thing that she taught me. So definitely go check out her social media. And the rest of the things that we're going to be covering are more catered towards gratitude, but they're also looking at little techniques and tips that you can use to really make a plan for yourself and to design your environment to support you in your goals. So these are concepts that I learned from the book called Atomic Habits. A really good book. Highly suggest you read it if you haven't already. And yeah, so without further ado, then the gratitude is my own little approach to to reflecting. So we're gonna start with 2025. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go through this video and I'm just going to list each question. You guys can write it down. So you're gonna need a journal and a pen. And then I'm just going to name the questions, then you can pause the video, you can write your answers. It shouldn't take more than like 5 minutes, maybe 10 if you are really deep into it. And then you just pause the video, you set your timer, you write your answer to your question, and then you keep going. Just to give you an overview of how long it would take, I would say anything to maybe an hour to 1.5, depending on how deep you want to go into this. There's a total of 6 questions for 2025. Then there's a total of 11 exercises for 2026. Yeah, we're going deep into this. So yeah, get yourself ready. Then, so starting with 2025, you're just gonna go back either through your memory, I think is always best, but if you need anything to help you remember what you went through, you can always go through your archived. If you're someone that posts on social media a lot, you can go to your archive stories and scroll through there. You can go through your posts, your calendar, your photos, anything that you need. So yeah, just start writing a list of the things that you're grateful for that happened in 2025. Okay, now so we're going to highlight the special things that you want to remember the most and what it is about this experience that you valued the most. So really looking at what you value. So for example, that could be spending time with friends, it could be learning, it could be exercising, it could be, I don't know, really like eating healthy or going to the beach, going out in nature. Maybe you're working on a project that you're really passionate about. Maybe it could also just be taking more time to rest. That's also really important. So just highlight a few things that you think were the most important. You can pause the video and take maybe 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes to write that down. Now we're gonna go through the important lessons. So what are some lessons that you learned this year that you want to take with you to next year? You can write down the experience that taught you that lesson, or you can just focus on the lesson. That's up to you. Take maybe like 3 to 5 minutes for this. You can pause the video. Now, when you've finished doing that, you can think of any values or things that you deem as important that you want to improve next year. So if you take a look and write a list of the things that you value the most, so it could be quality time, reading and learning, the curiosity. So just write down a list of things that you value, and then which ones you think you scored well at. So you can give yourself like anywhere from 1 to 5 stars. And if you feel like you need to explain further as to why you feel that way, you can go ahead and do that. And then highlight the ones that you want to improve on, that are important to you, but you think that you could have spent more time doing. So for example, if you wrote love as one of your values, you could ask yourself like, okay, how did I show love to the people that I care about? How did I show love towards myself? On a scale of 1 to 5, how well do I think I did in that? And what do I need to do to improve that? And then that way you should end up with a list of, I would say, 1 to 5 values, and that way you can see which ones you did well on, so you can keep that the same for next year, and which ones you think you can improve on. So you can pause the video. It can take 3 to 5 minutes to do this. Now, what's next? What are you the most proud of this year? This can be things that you've overcome, it could be specific accomplishments, it could be specific goals, it could also be specific moments in which you allocated your time. Perhaps you took a trip that you've always wanted to do, or you finished a certification that you've been working really hard on. So yeah, what are the things that you are the most proud of? Top 3 is good. If there's more, that's better. Celebrate yourself, celebrate things that you accomplished this year. So take maybe like 3 to 5 minutes for that. You can pause the video here. All right, now the last one for 2025. If you were to summarize this year in one word, what would it be? And this one, you only need like 2 minutes, 1 minute. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a highlighter, and you're gonna highlight the things that stand out the most to you, that are the most important to you. And then you can grab another pen if you want, for things that you think are important that you want to improve on next year, and you can just draw like a little line. So once you go through this list and you highlight what was the most important for you, then you can really have a clear overview of what you want to continue next year and what was really great and you're really happy for, but you don't necessarily need to, you know, make it a thing to take that with you next year. All right, now we're getting ready for 2026, but before I move on, there's one more thing that you can do for yourself if you have some extra time. It's a great exercise, and that is to make a gratitude board. So what you'll do is you'll just grab, you can use Canva, or you can print a bunch of pictures, and what you're going to do is you're just going to put together all of these things that you went through, experiences that you had that you're grateful for, so that whenever you're feeling down or anything and you notice that your mind is going in a negative spiral, you can just look at the board and be reminded of the good things that you have, just to shift yourself into a more positive mindset. And now we're going to go into 2026. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with where you want to focus your positive energy towards next year. Just take 3 minutes maximum and write whatever comes to your head. Don't judge it, just write it down. And you want to make this as quick as possible so that you don't overthink things. Yeah, so I'm just going to let you guys do that. You can pause the video and take 3 minutes for this. Okay, now we're going to think about your future self and you in your best case scenario. What is he or she doing right now? So take like 3 minutes to write this down, 3 to 5 minutes. Now when you're ready, you're going to highlight what stands out the most from you. Then you're going to take that list and you're going to take the list of the things that you want to focus your positive energy towards, and you're going to really look at what are the most important for you. So choose your top 3, or 1 even is better, your 1 to 3. You can do more, but I wouldn't do more than 5. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make a new bullet point list with those top 1 to 3 or 5. Do 3 max, unless you are very good with time management and know that you can do 5, go for it. Again, credits here for the imagine your best future self and what is she doing, highlight what stands out the most. Credits goes to Anna Lougari here for this one. So what you're going to do is you're going to see the list that you already have. You're going to see if you can take keywords out of that, or like actionable steps that you can take to make those things real. And what you're going to do is you're just going to bullet point them. So you're going to make a list. So for example, let's say you wanted to focus on your health. Well, an actionable step for that would be, for example, going to the gym or running or dancing or doing HIIT workouts or soccer or whatever it is that you, volleyball, or doing whatever it is that you deem as exercise for you that you enjoy doing. Make sure that you enjoy it, otherwise it's not going to be really sustainable for you. So you should have your list now of things that you want to work on, the actions, and what you're going to do is you're going to see if you can bundle any of them. So let's say, for example, you wanted to work on your health, you wanted to for example, take more time for self-care, and you wanted to work on studying or taking some time to learn or to read. You're going to go through this list and see which one of these things you can bundle. So for example, you could bundle self-care with reading. You could bundle taking a walk with learning, micro-learning through listening to online courses, or for example podcasts that have a good effect on you and that are helping you reach your goals. So just go through the list and see which ones you can bundle, and then also I want you to highlight which ones are really important towards your goals for the future and are going to need 100% of your focus. So let's say, for example, you are studying a challenging course. Perhaps it's not the best idea to bundle your relaxation time with your studying because you want to be 100% focused on studying. Or let's say, for example, you want to really beat some goals that you have for your health, then you want to be 100% focused at the gym and not be combining listening to podcasts and going to the gym, because honestly you will get more out of your exercise if you're 100% focused on the physical stress that you are putting yourself through to reach those goals, because you will push yourself consciously to push harder and to really reach those goals. So highlight the goals that are the most important to you, that will really help you reach those results that you want to have within a year, and highlight the ones that are going to need your 100% focus. So, or you can underline them. So what you'll end up with is you'll end up with a list with those bullet points that you already have now, and you have a clear overview of the highlighted ones, which are showing you what you can bundle, which are the most important to you. And then you can have ones that are either underlined or highlighted in a different color that need your 100% focus. You can also circle them, for example. And now comes the fun part. You're going to ask yourself, how can you design your environment to make sure that you can make it easier for yourself to actually make these goals of yours done. So get to a point where it's done. So for example, let's say you want to exercise. You can choose to first of all, you can choose to go to a gym, but if that's something that you can't do and you're doing home workouts, you can choose to remove everything from your space that is distracting, so phones, TVs, whatever, and make sure that you have your clothes, your gym clothes, ready on your mat, ready to go in the morning, so that's the first thing that you see when you wake up. Or if you choose to do it in the evening, that's the first thing that you see when you come back home. So how can you design your space to make it more actionable for you? Another example would be, for example, let's say you are studying, you want to remove all distractions from your phone and from your laptop, so you could turn off your phone, you could put on airplane mode, leave it in a different room is even a better idea. And then if anyone calls you, you're still reachable, but you won't be distracted by any texts. So that could be something that you could do. Or for example, let's say that you want to wake up earlier, you'd leave your phone and your alarm outside of your bedroom so that in the morning you can get up and you can leave to go get it, and that way you're out of bed. Or for example, doing meal preps. If you want to eat healthier, you can do meal preps on Sundays and then make sure that you have everything in for your nutrition for the whole week. And those are some examples of how you can kind of inspire yourself to design your environment to make things easier for you You could also, for example, have a mood board, or you can have a board with like your goals written on them so that they're in your face every day. This is definitely something I recommend doing, so that you're constantly reminded of them. It's a great way to do it. And if you want to add a little extra pizzazz, you can maybe get some stickers, or put like, for example, I read this somewhere, someone shared this with me, that they were really serious about their health and they didn't want to miss a day at the gym. So what they did is they had attached money to their gym calendar, and then when they didn't show up when they had planned to, they had a rule that they had to burn the money. I haven't tried this, but if you want to try, you can go for it. I've been pretty consistent with my exercise, so I'm good. But I thought it was kind of funny one. I was like, I guess that's a good motivation to keep yourself active. So yeah, then I want to give you one more. Let's say, for example, you want to like reduce sugar in your life. You can start by giving away all of the products that you don't want to eat anymore next year, and then make a rule for yourself so that you don't buy them at the supermarket, because it's so much easier to stop doing things when you stop buying them. Okay, I'll stop now. You have 5 minutes to do that. So just a little refresh. You're going to look at the circled and the highlighted tasks that you've bundled, and then you're going to ask yourself how you can design your environment. You're going to ask yourself how you can design your environment to make it more possible and easier for yourself to do it. Now, we have 3 more things. So the last one, or the third last one, is to ask yourself a simple question. If I talk to myself at the end of next year and she succeeded 100% on doing one thing on my list, what would it be? So we're gonna narrow it down now. Just take like 2 minutes to think about it. Now, the second question is, if I asked her which one positive thing I chose to do that I have always wanted to do but was afraid of doing, what would that be? Take like 3 minutes to think about it and write it down. Now, last but not least, you should have a good list, an overview of the most important things for you. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna plan it in, because it's great to have lists, but if it's not in your calendar, how do you know how you're gonna make it possible? Extra for dramatic effect. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your list of things, and you're going to also look back at the values that you had for 2025 and see which values you wanted to improve. So you have everything in front of you, the values that you want to improve. You have your list of things that you want to work on this year and that you want to continue nurturing and feeding, and what you want to focus on the most. And what you're going to do now is you're going to plan it in. So my last question for you is, what are the things that you're going to focus on this year? Write down how you're going to do it, where you're going to do it, when, and at what time. We're planning it in. So you can go down your list, starting with the most important, one by one, and really write down the details. And for the ones for which you have written down how to design your environment for it, you should have a clear overview of where and how you're going to do it. And that should end your 2026 goal setting for this year, making it practical. Overview of how much you can actually do and that you can make it possible. And then the best way to stay accountable is to go back to your list. You can write it down and keep it on above your bed or your door or your fridge, and you can just reflect past every month. Every 3 months is also a good one, and just keep yourself in check and make sure that you are at least giving 100% to one of them, so that you can feel more accomplished next year. Now, I'm going to give you one more tip and then I'm going to close off this video. If there is anything on this list that you find challenging to do by yourself, ask yourself which one of these things you can do with a friend. For example, exercising. For example, I have drinking water as one of them. And see if there's any friends that have similar goals to you and you can help them to make you more accountable. So find yourself an accountability partner. You can take a photo of your state now, for example. So let's say if it were health, you could take a photo and then take a photo at the end of every month or something to see if you're in check. But more importantly than photos, I think, for example, BMI is a way more accurate way of measuring your health. Or for example, being able to run consistently for 5K without stopping. You know, make sure that your goals are actually measured in a way that is effective. Make sure that the way that you measure it also is effective. So if you are wanting to become more fit, think about BMI. And that way you can make it easier for yourself to stay aligned. I hope you guys have a lovely new year and that this video inspired you, that it was helpful, effective, and that you feel more in control of your calendar for next year and that you can end this year being proud and grateful for everything. And I hope to see your comments about how you are totally kicking booty next year at your goals and that you are proud of yourself and that you just make your dreams and your best version of you and your best case scenario come true. Have a lovely, lovely last day of the year for the remaining hours, and I hope you have a lovely new year as well. Bye! Also, credits to this beautiful Christmas tree and actual tree for the background vibes.